Where's your Venus at? So this is a money-driven discussion that we're having right now. I want you to chime in as usual. Pick your brain right now. I want to see what's going on. So Venus, right? Let's talk about it. I would recommend to look at the house and what type of house it is that your Venus falls in natally, more than I'd put emphasis on the sign. And I don't even have the complete answer of why I'm telling you that, but I know partially it's because some signs, you can't tell whether or not you're going to just begin getting money in this type of way, or if you're going to continue getting more, follow through and get money in this type of way, or if you're going to be able to get money like this forever. Like, those things are just not determined yet from my scope. And I say this because, there's cardinals and there's succeeding and there's cadent signs. And then, they move different, each of them. So, like, for instance, if a cardinal sign is wherever your Venus is that to say that, oh, well, you're only going to start earning money in a Venus type sense or feel, and then you're not going to do it anymore? You know what I mean? So I would have to explore that horizon more before I give you a concrete answer on that. Now, let's get back to Venus, though. Venus is a particular type of money, all right? Because this is going to open up discussion that is going to be imperative later on when it comes to finances and stuff like that. I may have mentioned on the channel publicly before. Oh, shout out to the people in the membership. I'm going to get back to y'all shortly. I did not forget about y'all. But I've mentioned this before, that each planet has a different type of monetary value in the system. Well, I would say, well, most of them anyway. And Venus is a distinct one. It's probably one of the more ancient ones. But it's definitely distinct because Venus takes two to tango, right? You have to establish a contract between two or more people in order for this to take place. And the natural essence of operating with Venus as money, and this is going to be utilized as well. Pardon me, I had to interrupt real quick, but this is going to be used to clarify and confirm that, money is energy, and the planets being allocated to different types of money, different types of currency, is going to be able to confirm that there's different types of energies. So Venus, again, two people to tango. It takes two to tango. So a small example is, if you're going to, like, I have a contract in the air right now, right? I have to actually physically meet these people face to face, this person rather, face to face, in order to, obtain my reward, And it has to happen this way, or it just won't be a confirmation. It won't be confirmed. Now, this is not, it won't be confirmed any other type of way, is pretty much what I'm saying. It can't happen through a telephone conversation. Like, we have to set eyes on each other, and that's the smallest extent to which this takes place and has to happen. So, I'll bring this up at this time as well because despite what's happening in the world, if you're paying attention to the world anyway, some of you probably are not, and kudos to you, or whatever you choose to do, or, I support you. Well, not whatever, but you get what I'm saying, right? So, but it's a good time to bring it up because a lot of things are transforming, and you can get in where you fit in, and you can make some money. You know what I'm saying? So, Venus, let's get to it. Venus it takes two to tango. You utilize Venus money in order to, conceal a contract, right? Libra is Venus rules over Libra. It rules over Taurus as well, but I want to get back to Libra instead of Taurus for this simple fact that Libra, which is probably the hardest sign to be in the zodiac wheel, if you ask me, has to figure out a way to be fair when solidifying these contracts that we go out to get money for. And in doing so, you may think that 50-50 is fair. And I'm here to tell you that 50-50 is not always fair. It's not, because what someone thinks is best for you may not be best for you. Who knows? It might be set in that way, so it's best for the person who set it. Or like I'll give you an example, right? Like let's say you applying for a place of employment right now, and you go to salary.com and you look up the median pay for that position, and the people that are trying to hire you right now are not trying to pay you at least that, then guess what? Something is unfair, right? If you're looking at it from the scheme of a Libra perspective, like, okay, this is the fair amount because an average of people, you know, adequately feel that this is an adequate amount to pay for this type of service in the overall industry and economy, right? So if these people are not offering you that at least, then they're not even looking at a type of way to be fair with you. They're trying to lowball you. You know what I'm saying? And if you, the individual, takes that, then you're saying, okay, and check this out, right? I'm not saying that you're saying that you're getting bamboozled, right? You're just getting lowballed as far as the overall economy and industry goes. However, you may have something in your natal chart that suggests less is more. All right? I'm not telling y'all to go out there and be poor and something. Just listen to what I'm saying. You might have something in your natal chart that says less is more. So let's say this particular place of employment is 3 minutes away from your apartment. You literally walk outside and you're there. Bam. You get all kinds of lunch breaks. You get all types of perks. You get all types of discounts. You get all types of everything at this place of employment. But they're paying you $350 less than the national average. You may take that. And it's more than, it ends up being more than enough for you, because not only are you is it convenient for you, but you also have a lifestyle that is frugal in some type of sense. You also know how to be a minimalist or whatever the case may be, right? So you jump on it and you take it. Now some people are not having it. They, whether it's pride or it's just that they have more, they can have a natal placement that suggests, no, I have to have more. Like that's my lot in life. I have to have more for this position or I'm not taking it. You know what I mean? And to each his own. So, but these are the things that you should take into consideration when it comes to Libran perspectives. What's fair is not always 50-50 is my point. All right. So how do we dodge around and find out, or look inside of your chart, right? Tell me where's your Venus at? If you're not afraid to like put it in a comment section and stuff like that, you know, you don't have to be totally detailed. You could just maybe put the house, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe just put the sun, you know what I'm saying? Let's just toy around with this and see what we can come up with. So I'm going to give you, because the first thing I asked when dealing with Venus, right? Or well, the next thing I asked is, well, what does Saturn have to do with it, right? Because a lot of the times, and this is like cliche, textbook, past primitive type workplace environment stuff that we've been going through in the Piscean age when everything is so mundane and bogged down to where, you know, those who go work these long hours, these long, hard hours, and, you know, it's not all, how should I say it? It's a mixture of Saturn and Venus and sixth house stuff, but when in all actuality, because that's how astrology describes it, but in all actuality it's not, because if you think about it, right, the sixth house, first of all, like some people will say, yo, why you keep losing a job, right? Some people can't hold jobs, or they just there for 3 months and they bounce around, they somewhere else. Some people get bored quick, they got to do it because of that, you know what I'm saying? Or some people don't like the employees or the co-workers, so they do it because of that. Whatever the reason may be, it is what it is, right? But when you look at the sixth house in the natural scheme of things, the sixth house is a mutable house anyway. Virgo rules over it. So why are we expecting people to stay at jobs for 25 to 30 years, right? That's already mistake number one in the natural scheme of things. Now, what that does as well is it affects and it impacts the well-being, mental health, and all things considered, especially with Mercury ruling over the sixth house. It impacts the well-being and the mental health of that individual. If we're going to call it a work environment, it's like, okay, shouldn't I have been bounced around and at least getting different positions in this workplace? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it doesn't sit well. So that's one thing we got to consider. Another thing that should be considered is, where does Saturn come in if Venus, because y'all know I'm borderline fanatic for Saturn, right? So, but where did Saturn is considered work? So where does Saturn fit in if we're working with Venus? We're getting paid for stuff with Venus. So this is what I've concluded. Get in the comment section, back me up, or state your own theory, right? Saturn is not something that you get paid for now. Put it that way. It's not something you get paid for now. So no, it's not the type of energy where you exchange, barter, trade, you know, face to face. Hey, give me that, I'll give you this. It's not one of those, Saturn. Saturn is, what would you be doing if nobody else was around and you wasn't doing anything, if you wasn't employed? What would you be doing, right? And this does have a place of where Saturn is in your natal chart. It does have a place of where Saturn is transiting at this current moment. But at the same time, you may say, well, why do I even have to do this Saturn thing? Why? And it's because you plant the seed and then you grow it and then you come back later and you reap the harvest. So the sickle that's in the symbology of Saturn, the planet, the hieroglyph, if you will, inside of the astrological wheel, you can actually see the sickle inside of the sign. See, people took that and they turned it into some real demonic stuff that, paints Saturn as the bad guy, but it's actually a sickle that, cuts the crops from the ground after it grows, because Saturn rules over agriculture. That's why Saturnalia is the old school holiday celebrated at the winter solstice. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? All right, then. So, I ain't telling no fable here. So that's how Saturn is utilized. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you a concrete example of that, right? So because Saturn will teach you lessons as well as where you can work and still earn. It just will be in a different way. And it teaches you with gradual processes that transitions is to transition you by teaching you. Because if it was to pay you like Venus did, which is most of the times instantly, then you would overlook the lesson and put more emphasis on the money. So one time I was doing something, and I remember where Saturn was transiting. I'm not even going to tell on myself that detailed right now. I'm not going to do that right now. But I'm working with someone, right? And mind you, I'm not paying nobody. No one's paying me. This is just, I want to do something. Can you help me do this? Yeah. All right, cool. Boom. We both agreed. Went and did it. Kept doing it. And the person that I was doing this with, they was excited about it. Like, they really enjoyed doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it came to one day and they like, okay, we're going to do it again, right? We're going to do it again. And we're going to do it like this time, right? So I'm like, actually, no, not today. You know what I'm saying? And this was not planned or nothing, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't trying to be nasty or trying to be foul with the person, you know what I'm saying? I know they enjoyed it, but I was just like, nah, not today. And they like, why not? I'm just like, I can't. They was like, no, you can, you just don't want to. And I thought about that. I was like, you know what? They're right. I don't want to. It's something about me and something about it that made me not want to do it at that time. And that's Saturn. That Saturn that says, okay, if you keep doing this, you like it, they like it. If you keep doing this and keep doing this, guess what's going to happen? The utility value of it is going to decrease. Meaning it's like, okay, if you drink 2 beers, you might feel very nice. If you drink 13 beers, you're going to feel wasted. You're going to wake up naked in a barn somewhere. And then you're going to be kind of upset when you start reading the text messages in your phone, right? That's when the utility value of something decreases. Your head is going to be hurt and you're going to need all types of aspirins to come back to life. And it's just terrible, right? And this is when you be like, oh, I'll never drink it again. I'm never drinking it again. It's one of those. Saturn knows this. So Saturn says, pull back, refrain. I'm going to take you away from something that you seen was viable. You seen that people enjoyed it, but too much of anything, you know the saying, right? Too much of anything. But they show you this is something that you can do. This is something that could be valuable. If it's meant to be, we'll find out. But pull back, because it'll come back. So the things that you love, they'll come back to you, right? So pull back, see what goes on. And if this manifests later on, you already planted the seed. You understand what I'm saying? And when it grows later on, you're gonna find out whether if this is something that you can do or not. And it just so happened to be that this actual thing that I did is in the field, is in the industry of what I already do to obtain money where my Venus is placed. You feel what I'm saying? So let me see if I left anything out of this discussion. You know what? I'm just going to touch on it right now. I'm not going to get too deep into it. I'm just going to touch the surface, let it breathe. You know what I'm saying? Let the comment section build up. Let's get people involved or whatever the case may be. And then I potentially will come back and touch on this. All right, y'all, I'm out.